I sent us a list of items to cover, including personal qualities, professional relationships, leadership, professional development, teacher relationships, teaching practices and approach, classroom management, technology, teacher-parent relationships, strengths, goals, and areas of focus. Being the overachiever that I am, I decided to try and hit it all. Most importantly, being a teacher for me is being a mom first, finding out what works with my own kids, and then trying to bring that back into the practice with my own students. Last year, my room looked like this, and I loved it, but I knew I needed change because change brings new learners into my classroom, and because we have a beautiful campus, I wanted that to also be reflected in my classroom. But before I could work in my classroom, I had to travel out to California to go to ISTE and meet some wonderful people from my professional learning network that I admire greatly. I got to present on panels with amazing people, meet the leaders behind Simple K-12, who I do webinars and present for. And then I even got to meet the director of Brain Pop, the vice president, Carrie Stubbs, and other phenomenal people out in San Diego. I also traveled around the country and brought my daughter to Chicago to visit my parents, but then since another ed tech company was there that I loved a lot, Mentor Mob, I decided to stop and have lunch with my great friend Eric Pitt and bring my daughter along, Riley. So back to my classroom. I decided to change the whole thing, and it looked quite messy, much like this, and this. And then I also have a blog on the side that I love to do, and the great thing about that is my daughter and my son, Riley and Jacob, get to do a lot of fun stuff too with the free products that I get to review. I also went to TechSmith's campus this past summer right before teaching second grade and learned a lot about screencasting and making my classroom more interactive. I had companies like Class Connect and Clayco fly me out to California to meet their team and work with them and developers of a new ed tech startup. I got to visit Facebook and I got to visit Google. And then I went back to my classroom and finally organized it to look like this. Very neat. So that when all my new little learners came in September, they could see how wonderful it was. The first weekend of September, I flew out to DC to literally get the red carpet treatment for the BAMI Awards, which was presented through the BAM Radio Network and also the Academy of Education, Arts, and Sciences. And of course, I brought my family because with all things like teaching, I try to make everything as family-oriented as possible. So even though I was going out to DC for a teaching convention, I decided to bring my family along as well. I had never been there, and neither had they, so it was wonderful to see the White House. Even though I was honored on stage, along with what we called the Twitterati, it was wonderful to see everyone and connect once again. I always try and create moments in my classroom. Remember, we do not remember days, we remember moments. So I decided in order to truly devote myself to Cranbrook and Brookside, I had to move my family there. So this is our new house that we're renting from a great friend of mine, and I was able to get more creative in my classroom and do projects like this. I also got to meet and work and collaborate with people such as Ron Clark and Daniel Pink throughout the year and do giveaways and stuff on my blog, along with some great professional learning and reading throughout my time is teaching in second grade. We also get to go ice skating, and I bridge great relationships with my parents through such experiences that Cranbrook allows for. My kids love it. It's a chance for them to bond. Most importantly, though, our time is spent in the classroom bonding, and I try to model my classroom out of a Barnes & Noble. That's my goal. I love when children fall in love with literature and just gather around and learn together. Even in family eating restaurants like California Pizza Kitchen, I'm always thinking, oh look, there's an array on the wall. I can snap a picture of it and bring it back to my classroom so my kids can see math and every day. And I encourage them to do this as well. I'm fortunate to have great professional relationships with my colleagues. This is my daughter's teacher. She's wonderful. And we're actually going to New York this summer. We got to go to the Henry Ford Museum with our class, actually all of the entire school, and it was a great experience. They learned a lot. And then with my blog, I shared the Instagram resource for my bulletin board, and I had teachers from all over the country send me pictures of their students using the Instagram activity. What a great reward. Talk about intrinsic motivation. So no matter which way you're going, sometimes it's confusing. Do I do this? Do I do that? I think that keeping at the heart of why you do it and keeping it fun, building relationships with colleagues, this is first grade teacher Megan Hepke, and attending professional development, always making sure that you're a learner yourself so that you know that your students can be learners, bridging great friendships within your district and then around the world as well. It's a great opportunity to meet people and to connect globally and find out what everyone around the country is doing to better serve students so that you can bring it back to your own classroom. Kids are crazy. They're going to do funny things. I get to travel a lot and see many funny things in the airport, but most importantly, it's about the relationships that you build at professional developments and within your own school as well. And then bridging that relationship with companies too, finding out how they can help enhance what you're doing in the classroom to support you. And then bringing colleagues within your own district around with you to travel and see the world and meet and network with educators all over within Michigan and across the country and across the world as well. It's been a wonderful experience, and thanks to Cranbrook, I've had a fantastic year at second grade.